The Kytherian delegation materialized on the orbital platform with the characteristic shimmer of quantum displacement, their biomechanical forms gleaming under the station's harsh lights. Ambassador Vextar's chitinous plates clicked with anticipation as he surveyed the sterile meeting chamber. Behind him, contained within a reinforced energy field, lurked the pride of their military evolution, the Devastrix. Commander Elena Rodriguez waited at the opposite end of the chamber, her hands clasped behind her back, seemingly unarmed and unguarded. The Kytherians had demanded this demonstration of strength before any peace negotiations could begin. They needed to establish dominance, to prove that humanity's expansion into their sector was a mistake that would be corrected. Humans, Vextar's translator buzzed with mechanical precision. Your species has trespassed upon sacred hunting grounds. You will witness the power that has conquered 17 star systems. The energy field dissipated with a crackling hiss. The Devastrix emerged, 12 feet of engineered death, its carbon fiber muscles rippling beneath biometallic armor. Generations of genetic manipulation had created the perfect predator. Razor-sharp retractable claws that could slice through titanium, a neurotoxin delivery system in its elongated tail, and quantum-enhanced reflexes that allowed it to phase shift through matter for brief moments. The creature's eyes locked onto Elena, and its hunting instincts engaged. Every cell in its body had been designed for this moment, the kill. Elena watched the beast with professional interest, noting the obvious cybernetic enhancements along its spine and the telltale shimmer of its quantum field generator. Impressive, certainly. The Kytherians had clearly invested centuries perfecting their apex predator. The Devastrix launched itself across the chamber, moving faster than most organic eyes could track. Its claws extended, aiming for Elena's throat with surgical precision. Elena didn't move. 3 feet from her position, the Devastrix slammed into an invisible barrier with bone-jarring force. The creature rebounded, confused, its quantum enhancements flickering as they struggled against an unknown energy signature. Fascinating, Elena said, her voice carrying the calm authority of someone accustomed to controlling forces beyond comprehension. Your biological modifications are quite sophisticated, but you're operating on assumptions about apex predators that are limited. She raised 2 fingers to her lips and whistled, a sharp, piercing note that echoed through the chamber's acoustic dampeners. The temperature in the room dropped 15 degrees in 3 seconds. Reality itself seemed to pause as spacetime curved inward on a specific coordinate behind Elena. The fabric of existence rippled, and something vast began to unfold from dimensions that the Kytherian mind couldn't properly process. What emerged defied their understanding of biology, physics, and the possible. The human's companion existed partially in their dimension and partially elsewhere, a creature of pure mathematical impossibility. Its form shifted constantly between states of matter, sometimes appearing as crystalline structures that sang with harmonic frequencies, other times as flowing energy that left afterimages in the visual spectrum. Where the Devastrix was built for physical dominance, this entity commanded forces that operated on quantum, gravitational, and temporal levels simultaneously. The Kytherians' bioscanners screamed warnings they couldn't interpret. Their instruments detected gravitational anomalies, tachyon emissions, and what appeared to be localized violations of causality. "Meet Axiom," Elena said conversationally. "She's not exactly a pet, more like a partner. We discovered her species in a pocket dimension where time flows backward and mathematics has emotional states. Took us 40 years to establish communication protocols." Axiom regarded the Devastrix with something that might have been curiosity. When she moved, if movement was the correct term, space bent around her presence. The Devastrix's quantum enhancement systems began shutting down automatically, unable to function in the localized reality distortions. Vextar's translator stuttered. This is impossible. No biological entity can manipulate spacetime at a macro level." "You're absolutely right," Elena agreed. "Axiom isn't biological. She's something else entirely. Something we learned to communicate with instead of trying to control or weaponize." The ambassador's plates trembled as the full implications settled in. The humans hadn't simply matched their apex predator. They had transcended the entire concept. While the Kytherians had spent millennia perfecting the art of biological warfare, humanity had somehow formed partnerships with entities that operated beyond the physical laws the Kytherians understood. Your Devastrix is impressive, Elena continued, but it's still bound by the same physical constraints as everything else in this universe. Axiom isn't. Axiom pulsed once, a gentle wave of energy that somehow conveyed amusement. The Devastrix, sensing it was outmatched by something beyond its programming parameters, retreated to a defensive posture. Elena smiled. Now then, Ambassador Vextar, shall we discuss territorial boundaries? I think you'll find humans are quite reasonable neighbors, when treated with appropriate respect. The Kytherian delegation would later report that humanity's expansion into their sector was no longer considered a correctable mistake, but rather an established fact to be accommodated through careful diplomacy.